What? You're like.
Hi everybody, Vita along with Brandon Coppin here, and we are going to show you today how to do Harry Potter terrariums. Came up with this idea because Raquel did this wonderful Star Wars terrarium a little while back, and she's going to come in just a little bit and show us how to do that as well. But then we started kind of getting excited with the movie just coming out, kind of the spin-off, and then with the Star Wars movie, and then we decided to get my Gryffindor scarf on.
Yep, I've got my Harry Potter glasses and my Hogwarts shirt.
And so you are with Thrifty Chic Home.
That's right.
On YouTube, and we're going to put a link to that, of course, in the bottom a little later on, so you can check out some of his other great stuff. And we, of course, have a Fix This YouTube channel as well. We'd love you to check that out as well. We've got, I think, more than 100 tutorials on there, things you can do, everything from cooking to crafts and just all the fun stuff. But what I'm excited about is everybody loves Harry Potter. So take this to the next step. I went and looked online. I saw one terrarium, and it had just basically a couple plants in it and like some characters that weren't really the best. So I decided to go find better characters, went and found these Lego characters at Toys R Us. And there's also, he's over there making the car. So we're going to put the car from the car scene flying in the tree. We're going to put that in here, and then we're going to make another one. But you're going to get us started on the basics of terrariums and how to make a basic terrarium.
That's right. Yeah, it's actually really easy. So it just consists of layers.
Yes.
So we've got our first layer in here. So you want to do rocks in the very bottom, because that way when you water the terrarium, you can see if there's too much water, because you can look at the bottom and see, oh, there's some sitting water in there, so I want to stop watering it. Basically, if you see water in there, you don't want to add any extra water to it, but you want to keep the terrarium moist.
Okay. And I just like the layered effect. Like, I look over here. Like, this is just so neat. You've got the rocks underneath, and here you got really creative with like different bark and different rocks. You don't have to stick just to pebbles. Like, you got some really cool sand going on.
Yeah, you can get crazy with it.
Get down with that.
That's right.
All right, and then over here too, here's another one. You see the different layers of sand here too. You've got the pebbles on the bottom, sand, and then you have your soil, and you're going to talk about the charcoal and how that helps out too.
And we can talk about containers too. I actually went to Goodwill and I found all of these. Right now they're having like a half off sale on everything in the whole store.
Wow.
I don't know how long it's going for, so these were half off, but already a really low price.
Yeah.
So we got these for like $2 each.
That's awesome. And I got these right here, the ones for the Harry Potter. So, you know, it's kind of like potion. I feel like it's
I love it. Yeah, it looks like a potion, I was going to say.
Or something. And I got this at Savers, and again, it was maybe $2.99, $3.99, and it was half off as well. So it's a couple bucks. You can find these and just really have a lot of fun with it, and then spend the money on your little characters.
That's right.
Put inside. These, like I said, I found at Toys R Us and the Lego thing, but I saw some on Amazon that weren't that expensive with all the characters. You just had to wait a little while, and they were a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
So if you have the patience, and you can order them online and get a lot of different characters for your Harry Potter terrarium.
Yeah, and if for some reason you can't find Harry Potter, if you also can find like a dragon, or like I found this like shed or something, anything that looks like it could be kind of fantasy related, and then you create a scene that looks like it could be in Harry Potter, then you're going to get that same effect.
We love it. Okay, so get us started. We want to start out. Do you want to start with these pebbles here on the bottom? Do you want to do the tree one first?
Let's do the tree one, since we're going to be doing that guy.
And so this, just the background behind this, I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was also 50% off. It was in the floral section, and it was a big long floral stick. And I'm not going to undo it, but Brandon just kind of, he wound it up. You could cut it too, but I think it's a little hard. But we were able to make that tree from the scene, kind of that mad tree. And by doing that, and he's going to cover it up with soil, so you'll only see what the tree part, and we'll be able to put in the cute little car at the top when we're done there.
That's right.
Okay, I'll pull this over here for you to show.
Okay, so then over here on the left side, we've got all of the different layers that we're going to be using. So like I said, we start... yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's switch
sides with you.
I'll just hang out with Hedwig over here.
We had a Harry Potter marathon last night, you said.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
While we were making the terrariums, we watched one of the Harry Potter movies.
Did you wear this outfit too?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Now, next time I will, though, because now that I'm thinking about it, it would have made it more fun. You know?
You gotta have a party, and then you can make some drinks, like special potion drinks.
Ooh,
would that not be fun?
That would be amazing.
Yes.
We're doing that.
Okay, I'm invited. I
For
invited
sure,
myself.
for sure, right? Okay, so we got our different layers here. So we started with the rocks, and then the next layer we're going to put in is some sand.
Okay, I'll hold. Yes, I'll take.
I want Hedwig to try and eat some of the sand. All right, so we'll take the sand here.
So rocks first, then sand. But
rocks
really,
first,
there's no. You could do just rocks. You could do just sand. But you're getting.
Yeah, it depends on your plants. Yeah. depends on what you're planting. If you're not putting anything like any plants in there, then you could just put whatever you want. But if you're going to do plants, then you want to do something at the bottom so that water doesn't sit in the soil. Like you want it to be able to drain away. So it just depends on what you're putting in there. Rocks first. And then we're going to put some sand in here. It might get a little messy, so be prepared for that. And then the size of the layer doesn't matter so much. Just, you know, it's up to your discretion. Some of it depends on how you want it to look. Like if you want the layers to create decoration, you can do thicker layers.
Okay.
So we're just going to do like probably like a 1-inch layer here, or a 1/2-inch layer of sand.
Do we want to stick this in next, or do we want to wait and put this in at the very end and then kind of work it in?
Let's wait because the soil's really light,
Okay.
so we'll just work it into the soil.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have our sand, we have our gravel, and then we want to do a layer of charcoal.
Okay.
The charcoal prevents mold from growing.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's a really nice.
And you can get this at any store that sells.
Yeah, any store that
plants.
sells floral things.
Yeah.
So a
Okay.
craft store, a garden center, and we actually picked up the plants at Tagawa Gardens. They have a huge selection of fairy garden type plants, like the smaller ones.
And then the moss too.
And the moss.
And
yeah.
I got this fairy moss thing at Hobby Lobby.
Nice.
And it's
It's
got
a
a
great
little.
selection.
Isn't it great? It's just called it's called your Super Moss Fairy Garden. So it's got like your whole fairy garden in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we have our layer of charcoal, and now we're going to do a layer of soil. So we're not going to do a ton because we're not going to be planting a lot of extra things in here.
No, it isn't good. And sometimes people don't plant anything.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
even need to, really. It just can be for decoration. So now we're going to work our tree in. We want some of the roots to show because you know in the movie that
It does.
the tree has those really cool roots.
Yes. It's the mad tree.
The mad tree. Yeah, it gets really angry when Harry and Ron land the car into
I
it.
know. So that's what we're working on the car over there.
All right.
Oh, that does. Yeah, you can totally see
Yeah.
the roots there. That looks really cool.
Okay, so then
What are some things we want to do next? Do we want to do the moss now? Do we want to plant something? And this one, maybe not plant anything because we already have the tree. Or is there
Yeah.
something over here you want to plant?
well, maybe we plant stuff in a different one and we just do moss in this one.
Okay,
That'll
let's
look
do
really
moss.
cool.
You
So
wanna
let's
put up my
open
moss?
this guy. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get it.
Easiest way to open this.
That's what was on your forehead.
What's on your forehead, Brandon? Someone's asking.
Oh, this is the scar from Harry Potter. So you know when he who must not be named tried to kill Harry
Yes.
Potter?
And you made it homemade with a pen?
Yeah, we just drew it on with some eyeliner.
Oh, eyeliner. Okay,
Yeah,
not a
let's
Sharpie.
see if I can get it off. I think it's waterproof eyeliners.
Don't use a Sharpie. I thought
Don't
maybe-
use a Sharpie, yeah.
Unless you want it on for one. Okay. Yes, I remember the scar. I have seen the movie many a time with my children.
Yeah, the scar was the remnant from the attack. And you always see it on his forehead during the...
You do.
Okay. And this is a really fun activity with your kids. I mean, kids love Harry Potter, adults love Harry Potter, so it's really fun. And you can teach your kids about ecosystems and how things grow too, so it's a nice family activity. Okay, so we have all these different colors
Follow this
here.
up so we can see. What do you like? I mean, I feel like there's kind of that grass that was outside.
Yeah.
So we could pull this out and cut a little bit of that. Let me
Let's
grab
do
the-
that.
just put it there.
So this comes in sheets, it looks like. So we're going to cut a little bit and we're
I
going to
think
put it in the
so.
bottom.
All right, so you want to cut a little bit off?
Yeah.
All right. How much? Just
Probably like, yeah.
like that?
We could maybe see how that looks and then put a couple more.
Probably. Cut it like.
Oh yeah, cut it maybe in half
Do you
again.
want to cut it in half or do you want to cut it kind of round? I think it might just fit down in here.
It's a little trial and error.
Do that and try
Yeah,
to
let's
see,
see
and then
how
we can
that
cut it
looks.
some more. Is it fitting?
Let's see. Maybe we need to cut it a little thinner. Yeah. Or we could just cut a slit in the middle and put it. There
Do
we
a
go.
little slit so the tree. Around the tree a little bit. Okay.
All right.
That's the beauty about it. It's kind of like an art project too,
That's
where
right.
you can work on it and then just kind of, you know, make it up as you go.
Mm-hmm. And you really can't mess it up. I mean, if you do something you don't like, you pull it
Pull
out
it
and
out,
put something else
start
in.
all over.
That looks pretty cool. And we have this stuff too. That's
Yeah,
kind
and
of
there's
fun.
a little bark right here. We've got little, if you want to grab a little bark. And like we said, we can just do a little bit in this one and then go, you know, more into it in the other.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to throw that in there?
Yeah.
I like that. Right around that. Where do you want to put that? I'll have you handle that. You're
good
the
that we can use
expert.
that to hide the, there we go.
Do we want to put some more moss around on the other side, or do you want to
Yeah,
do something a
let's-
little higher behind like this?
Ooh, good thinking, let's do that. So that way, no matter how you look at it, you're gonna see something different.
Okay. So here we'll pull that moss apart, and just different colors kind
Yeah.
of will help. That's neat. And throw some rocks in. I'll get it lighter, a little lighter.
I like that.
Okay.
It's cool.
And what I thought was exciting about this is, like I said, I went online and I just saw one picture, but it was just kind of like some plants and then a couple characters running. This was, this is a theme. You've got the whole tree theme. You're actually creating a scene from the movie and having fun with that. All right, do you want to add anything else, or do you want to start putting in our characters? What are your thoughts?
Maybe we'll start putting in the characters and we'll see how much space we have
Okay,
left.
so let's just put in, I think Harry was in that scene, so we can put Harry on the ground, and then I'll go over and check on our car. How's the car
And
coming?
we'll put him facing outwards. So Vid is checking on our car. And I'm gonna put these characters in here. Okay, and then we got Voldemort. We're gonna put him right here. So maybe we'll face him so that he's like trying to find Harry Potter here. There we go. Okay, and then while they're working on the car, I'm gonna work on another terrarium here. Okay. So in this terrarium, we've already got some of our layers in here, so we can start putting plants in. So if you guys remember before, we put the rocks in first, then we put the sand in, and then we put the charcoal, and then the soil.
He's still working on the car. 'Cause
Oh, nice.
The Lego didn't come with directions on the
Uh-oh.
car. It came with so we'll get there. Car's coming.
Car's coming. For now, we've got our characters in there,
Yeah, that's really neat.
and then we have the tree ready to go.
Okay.
So we'll set that one aside, and we can work on this one now. And then if you guys want to see an example of one that we've already finished, it's right over here.
Which one? This one or this one?
This one right here, yeah. And I guess before we do that, we can. So this one I made yesterday, and even though it looks like really complex, I took. And then I took some bark. Break apart. You just have to like.
The regular sand.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we have the black charcoal.
You do black charcoal, and then you put this black sand.
That's actually very last. Before I did that, I put the soil in so
wow,
I
you
could
put a
plant.
lot of layers.
Yeah, right.
Okay, good. But that creates your ecosystem.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, since I have living plants in there, I wanted to give them a good shot. And then after I finished all of those layers, then I put the black sand in just for decoration,
That's
really,
really neat,
and then
yeah.
the rocks.
I love that.
Okay, and then actually the last thing I was going to do with this one was put a dragon in here. So he's hiding up here.
And you can get creative. It doesn't have to be just Harry Potter. Like you said, you can do any theme from any movie, as long as like you're gonna think of an outdoor scene.
That's right.
And you can create your own outdoor scene.
Yeah, and when you get bored, you just swap it out with a new scene.
Yeah. Okay, so after this, we did the first layer, the sand. Then you did the.
Then I did so we did sand, so we did rocks, sand, and then we did charcoal, and then soil. I'm gonna put a little more soil in there. Okay. And then we're gonna take a couple of our plants. So you wanna make sure you choose plants that all have the same light and water requirements. So I chose all plants that need indirect light, and they also need to stay moist. You don't wanna choose plants that need to dry out, because then they'll need to dry out and other plants need to stay wet, so you want to stick with the ones that have the same requirements. So this is called polka dot plant.
That's really cute.
It stays small, and if it starts to get a little bigger, you just clip it back with some scissors and it'll stay small. So what you do with these, you just pull them out, and then you make a little space, and you drop them in. And then just make sure you fill around, just make sure he's showing this here, make sure you fill around the root ball with soil. And then, right over here, we have something called baby's tears.
I love these.
These are so cool. They stay low like this, and they need hardly any maintenance at all. They just need to stay moist, and they need bright indirect light. Now, it's got a really big root ball here, but you don't have to use that. You can actually just cut it off like right here, because they're very shallow rooted. So we're gonna take this, and then I'm gonna cut this. Actually, I'll just tear it. So what we're gonna do?
Someone asked what the plants are called.
This is called baby's tears, and then this one is called polka dot plant, and then we have Norfolk pine here,
That's really cute.
and then we have fern here, and then what else do we have? Oh, this is called purple passion plant, and it looked very Harry Potter to me.
Yeah, it does.
So I was like, this is perfect. Okay, so we're gonna take our baby's tears, and we're just going to, like I said before, these are shallow rooted, so you don't have to worry about the roots down here. You're just gonna tear it off, like right up
And
here.
that's not gonna, it's not
It's
gonna
not
ruin
gonna hurt it. No,
Okay.
these things are incredibly resilient. I'm gonna take that soil there, and then let's move this over here. I'm gonna get this guy out of the way so we can show. Okay.
I'm throwing in a few more things on it. I'm modifying my Harry Potter thing over here while
Nice.
you're just kind of like getting the tree ready.
So we're gonna work that into here like this. And I'm gonna leave a little space in the front so I can create a little scene here with one of these little houses. So I'm gonna work that down. And then now that I have my plants in, I think I'm gonna, let's see, do I wanna put, what would look best with these? Maybe some of this black sand.
Yeah, that's
Let's do
really
that.
I really like what that black sand and those black
Yeah, isn't
rocks
that cool?
do.
I got that at Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
And it's only $2.50 for a pretty good sized container.
And we always talk about this every week, but every time you go to your craft store, get your Hobby Lobby, you just pull your, you just Google Hobby Lobby coupon, you can get 50% off of
That's
something.
actually what we did, yeah, we used a coupon.
Michael's, the same thing too, just you sign up for those and they, a lot of weekends, a lot of Saturdays, you have a 50% coupon they send you. So make sure you utilize your coupons.
That's right.
Coupons are awesome.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so we're going to take the price tag off, and then we've got this really, I don't know if you guys remember from Harry Potter, but there was a few houses that looked almost just like this.
Just like that.
The Love Goods house.
And where did you get these at?
We got these at Tagawa Gardens.
Yes, you got that at Tagawa.
They're in the Fairy Garden section.
Okay.
So then we're just going to put this little house right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see,
That's
which way should we
so
turn that?
cute.
Maybe this way?
Yeah.
Actually, that kind of looks cooler from that way.
Yeah.
But it's really simple, and then when you're all done and you have extra dirt there, just make sure you clean that off the sides. And then,
Add some of those rocks. I really like the rocks.
Yeah,
and
can
I really
accessorize
like,
it with
again, I
rocks.
loved what you did with that bark too.
And
You
then
don't
we-
have to fill it all in.
when
just-
you're watering it, just spritz it with a hand, like a water bottle.
How often are you supposed to spritz it?
Once a week.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. And don't stick, because probably these, if you stick them in the sun, like you said, get the the low light, because
Mm-hmm.
you stick them in the sun, I'm assuming that these probably turn into kind of like a heater.
Yeah.
And probably
And
start
it'll grow all
cooking.
kinds of
Yeah,
green. Yeah,
yeah.
you shouldn't put them in any direct sunlight, just bright light in your
Yeah.
house.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, do you want to work on this one too? We're going to get this
Yeah,
one going
let's
too.
work- cool.
So let's really layer this one. So we've got this. Let's do another layer of rocks
Yeah.
under here. And we can, like I said, we have a couple Harry Potter figures, so we can put that, and maybe put some bark, show us how you made the bark
Oh,
roaches
yeah,
in this
totally.
one.
Okay,
Okay, so
let's-
we got our big rocks. Do we want to do
So let's
this?
do small rocks,
Small
yeah.
rocks second.
And this will be a good example. Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Sure.
And this would be a good example of how we show, like, we'll do really thick layers so that you can really see those layers on the sides here.
Let's really layer it. Okay, there's that. Do we want to do like a black layer? Or let's just go, no, let's go into our next, which would be the sand.
Sand, yep.
Okay.
Just dump it all in.
And
Let's
if
do a really thick
if
layer.
you wanted to not put the sand and stuff, you could just get away with the rocks, right?
Yeah, the sand isn't required. I just like the way it looks on the side. Because then you have rock, then you have sand. It looks kind of cool. But
Okay.
as long as you have something in the bottom that can hold some water, because you don't want to dump the soil in the bottom, because then the water will sit in the soil and
Right.
it just gets nasty.
And that you always want your charcoal underneath your soil.
Yep. And the charcoal even makes a cool decoration.
Oh, really
So you
does.
could put some of that in at the end too, just to decorate it. Almost looks like lava rock.
Yeah.
Okay, then the soil.
Soil.
And I hope you can tell from watching this how easy it is. Like, I think people get intimidated by terrariums.
I was intimidated. I started looking online because there were like a few different ways you could do it, and then you started got a little nervous. But then I started doing it, and do you want to try to use something like this,
Yeah.
or let's try. You show us how you did the layers. So
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's really easy to break this stuff, and you can buy it at a craft store or any place that has like floral things.
So I'm going to take this, I'm going to scoot that up, like that. Kind of like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just want to scoot up the dirt a little bit like that, and then we could do, why don't we do a really tall one here
Okay.
too on the side? Maybe that's too tall. Let's see.
It's very tall.
Yeah. We can break that. See how easy it is to break?
That is so easy. So stick maybe that in, and that one's kind of cliffy.
Because then we could put like a plant up top and make it look like a cliff. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do that. And then let's get some soil. Let's see. Get some soil behind that. Is there any extra in there?
A little bit right here.
Perfect.
So get a little bit back in here. Oh, you want to put a plant up?
Yeah.
Got
We'll
it.
put a plant up on the top of the rocks here. Let's see how that looks. That's good. And then we'll pop something in. So I wonder if we should do, this might look really cool.
So what's that one
So
called?
these are called ferns. They're a variety of fern. They kind of look like an asparagus fern.
They
They're
look
just
like
a little
baby
different,
ferns,
right?
yeah.
They're really cute.
They are cute.
All right, so let's see. We might have to break off some of the roots here. I'm making a mess.
That's okay.
We're gonna break some of these roots off.
Do it in an area where you can make a mess.
That's right.
Don't do it on your mama's carpet in the living room, the
No,
white carpet. She
that's
won't like
right.
that.
She may not.
I'd be a little mad about that.
And we're gonna squeeze it a little bit. It doesn't mind if you mess with its roots a little bit. Just don't do it too much. And then let's see if this works.
That's neat. Let me turn it. Come over here and check it out. Yeah, that looks really
Does that look
good.
cool?
Yes.
All right, and then we could put something like some plants here.
Okay.
So why don't we do? What do you think, Vida? We've got our purple passion plant. We have our polka dot
So we
plant.
want it, like how it looks next to that. Let's do like a purple. I like the purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do
Have we
one
done the
of
purple
these.
yet? No.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
Oh. And this is purple passion.
Purple passion plant.
Again, just go to your local garden center, and that, like, it sounds like Chicago has that fairy garden
Yeah,
center.
they do. They've got a good selection. So we'll put him in here. Just make sure you get soil all around the base there. And then,
Do we want to put some moss? Let's try some of this.
oh yeah, let's do
We haven't
that.
done this moss yet. No, what is this a special? Just
It's called sheet moss.
okay.
And you can buy it, it's just in these
Sheets?
plastic bags and sheets, yeah, in big, thick sheets. And you can find it at
Hence
garden
the name
centers
sheet
or
moss.
craft stores.
Okay. Is that too big, you think, or does that work okay?
No, that's good, because then it helps bring our
Kind of
cliff
fold it,
down, yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do. Do we
That
want to
helps hold it in
do?
place,
Do you
yeah.
want to do some of this?
Yeah, we could do that
Okay.
maybe in the very bottom down there.
I'll cut it circular.
Or actually, since we've already done that, maybe we do something else.
Grab
here.
something else.
Let's try, let's try this one. Yeah. This one's kind of cool. Let's do that, just so we can show all the different options you have. Now this came from that box.
Yes, the fairy garden that I got at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, and it's a really nice
And
selection.
this was $20, and then I had a 40% off coupon, so I got it
so
for
$10.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're gonna take some of this and we're gonna just like pull it apart a little bit, and we're gonna put it in the very bottom here and see how that looks.
Yeah, and that looks really hillsidey, like, you know, hillsidey is not a word, I know, but it's like in the Harry Potter movie, like you're on the hillside. And what we could do, if we wanted to split these guys up, we could do Harry Potter, we could do him.
Voldemort lurking.
Voldemort lurking. He could be back here lurking. Because I was thinking we could put he can get the train done. We could put the train over here, and he can maybe be back on the hillside.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hiding. Never mind. He can be up here.
Oh, there we go.
And the thing
Looking
about these
down.
Legos, they're like a little light thing, and you're supposed to put a light source under it. So you could almost go get a couple of those like
LED.
tea lights, yeah, that are cheap at the dollar store. If you want to light him up on the
Nice.
hill, let's check that out.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that looks great. All right, you work this. I'm going to check over here. How's
Okay.
it coming?
So if you guys are just tuning in, we're working on Harry Potter terrariums, and we started with our layers, and then we moved on to plants and moss and decorations. And right now we're getting some of these characters into the terrariums. All right, and they're working on the car. We've got the blue car from the scene. I think it's the was it the second or third movie where Ron and Harry fly the blue car into the tree and they get stuck, and that's what we're working on right here.
We're trying to figure out, so the little Lego thing did not come with the directions, but we're figuring out how to get these wheels on. So
And I can show off these ones in the meantime.
let's move all this stuff out of the way while I work on this. Raquel's going to come in
And I just
show
want to
us.
like
We're gonna
So
wipe all
reiterate
this
that
up.
I'm wearing fake fur right now, just so everyone knows. This is very fake.
I know, the first thing that came to my mind was fur.
No Hedwigs were harmed in the making of
Making
this
of it.
video.
I just wanted to look like him, not actually hurt him. So I'm using the little camera device so I can zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. So here are the two terrariums that I made. They are Star Wars themed. So this first one is of BB-8, and it's as simple as getting some sand, putting it into a terrarium container, and then getting a character. I found this one, I think, at Target, but they also sell them on Amazon too,
Nice.
if they ever sell out at stores. And then the second one was kind of like what you guys are doing today. Same concept, and I added in some moss. I found some branches outside.
Love it.
And I just added in two characters.
So we've got Yoda and R2D2. Nice.
I mean, they probably wouldn't be together in this scene, but it worked in the terrarium.
Right.
And then just every once in a while, I spray it down with some
Yeah.
water to keep it alive.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that looks awesome. It's cool that you can just do like any theme you want. And I never would have thought to like fill it with sand and put it like it looks like a desert scene when you do that. It's such a good idea.
And then you can take, you can use these scissors. You can take this and just kind of make
oh
bit of
yeah, little
waves.
swirl marks of where he was.
what's going. Yeah, so you can change it up every time.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
a little more dynamic. So I'll leave these two over here, and I will let you get back to what you're doing.
Awesome.
I am considering taking Hedwig.
Right. Bye,
I'll leave them
Hedwig.
back. There we go. So what are you working on next?
Well, right now we're finishing up this one. This has Voldemort in it.
Zoom in on that.
And with this one, we took some bark and we created this like multi-level section here. So this is a really tall piece of bark right here that gives you some height variation in the terrarium. And then we have this little character up here. He's a Lego Voldemort. So he's hiding menacingly up on the cliff here.
And Bit is working on the car right now.
We are,
Yep.
we're still working on it. It's not, it's
Almost got it.
we're gonna improvise.
Yeah, and you
Improvise, yeah.
can really tell from this though that this is that angry tree from the movie where they get the car stuck in it. We got these like branches. And Vida was saying she got these at a craft store, and it's just those metal floral twigs, and you just bend them around each other, and you can create this gnarled-looking tree.
And then I was going to ask people what kind of terrariums would they want to see? Like, what kind of themes would they think are cool?
Oh, yeah.
Because we had Star Wars, we had Harry Potter. We discussed some Marvel ones. We thought about Batman, but we couldn't think of any scenes outside when Batman's just out in there.
Yeah. You'd have to create like a city scene or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little cityscape terrarium.
Yeah. You could do like a road or something, probably, with some gray gravel, maybe, and then a yellow line or something.
Okay,
Or like Game of Thrones.
we
Yeah.
haven't found the part that attaches the wheels, but we're just gonna get creative, and we're just gonna put it together, and then we're gonna put this kind of in the tree, like that, and then kind of work the wheels in that way.
That's perfect. Yeah, because if you position it just right, you won't even be able to tell
Right.
it's missing wheels.
So we'll work on that. And this kind of just, when I saw that, I thought that was so neat, but what we're going to have to probably do is go online, since it didn't include the directions in there to the wheels on how to put it together, which
So
is,
you'd have to go online and download a PDF or something.
or just be very wise. It says putting it together is part of the game, so I don't know if that was like they want you to figure out how to do it yourself. But
Oh,
see, there's the
probably.
wheels anyways, and I think that looks really cute.
Yeah.
Oops, I lost a wheel. I'll put this one up here. So we'll work on that, but I just think that this is just so much fun because there's so many different things you can do with it. And I love how we were able to create, there it is in the tree.
Yeah, it's such an iconic scene. Whenever someone sees this, they're going to know right away, oh, that's from Harry Potter.
I know.
Like,
I
if
know.
you don't remember anything, you remember that car getting stuck in the tree.
And I'm going to take the wheel out right here. But we'll keep working on the wheel. We'll get it done. And once we get it done, we're going to actually have this on Fix This next week. And once we get this car figured out, we're going to show you how to do step by step once again next Saturday morning on 9 News. So there's your little tree. What other questions does anybody have real quick before we wrap up? you have anything else you want to talk about?
Just make sure you're watching your terrarium and giving it water when it needs it, if you've got plants in there. And keep it out of direct sunlight, like we said earlier.
Spray it once a week. Okay. I'm gonna go look on the other side.
And don't be afraid to cut the plants back if they start to grow too tall. Like, they don't mind it. All these plants can stay small. You can cut them with scissors, and you can keep them small that way.
All right, so of course we're going to put all the information you need to know below on 9news.com/fixthis, and check out his YouTube channel as well.
Thrifty Chic Home.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.